found these glass tubes filled with a red liquid. They have metal pins at the bottom and are labeled Tesla ECH81. Does anyone know what these? What you found is a set of vacuum tubes, specifically a type produced by the Czech company Tesla. These tubes functioned as triode-heptode frequency converters and were widely used in superheterodyne radio receivers for AM reception starting in the 1950s. Regarding the red liquid inside these tubes, it's important to note that original vacuum tubes did not contain any liquid. The presence of red liquid suggests that someone tampered with the tubes, possibly as part of a hoax related to red mercury. The red mercury myth gained traction in the late 20th century, with rumors suggesting it was a highly valuable, secretive substance used in nuclear weapons, missile guidance systems, and even paranormal research. These claims, however, have been widely debunked by scientists and intelligence agencies, and no credible evidence has ever confirmed the existence of red mercury. Despite this, scams involving counterfeit red mercury continued to circulate, particularly in black markets and online forums. I found this device at an antique store, but the owner doesn't know what it is. It has a telephone handset and several knobs on the side. These knobs have 4 rows of adjustable numbers. There's also a small compartment at the bottom. Does anyone know what this device was used for? What you found is an NCR stamping phone, a device used in department stores during the mid-20th century for automated credit authorization. Manufactured by the National Cash Register Company, this machine streamlined the process of verifying customer credit before completing a sale. As consumer credit became more common in the 1950s and 1960s, department stores needed a more efficient way to handle credit transactions. The device had a built-in telephone handset which store employees used to communicate with credit authorizers located in a central office within the store. The process began when a store employee inserted the sales slip into the machine and pressed a button to send an authorization request. This triggered a buzzer in the credit department, notifying the authorizer to review the customer's credit details. The authorizer then called the store employee, who provided the customer's name, address, and other necessary information for verification before hanging up the receiver. If the purchase was approved, the authorizer sent a signal back to the device, which emitted a sound indicating that the payment had been authorized. At this point, the sales slip was stamped and perforated, creating a permanent record of the transaction. The original copy was stored for store records, while the duplicate was given to the customer. This device belonged to my mother, who was into New Age practices in the 1980s. It has metal plates, wired handheld components, and a large analog gauge. Does anyone know what it was used for? The device you found is likely an Intero biocommunication device produced by the Ecian Corporation, which later became Zyto. These devices were popular in the 1980s, especially among individuals interested in New Age practices and alternative medicine. The Intero was designed to measure the body's galvanic skin response, a method that assesses changes in the skin's electrical conductance. This technique has roots in practices like electroacupuncture, developed in the 1950s by German physician Dr. Reinhold Voll. He discovered that acupuncture points exhibited different electrical properties compared to surrounding skin, leading to the development of devices to measure these variations. In practice, a patient would hold metal electrodes connected to the device. The practitioner would then introduce various substances or stimuli and observe the body's electrical responses, as indicated by the device's analog gauge. Proponents believed that these responses could help identify sensitivities or imbalances in the body. However, the scientific community has largely criticized such devices for lacking empirical support. Organizations monitoring medical claims have raised concerns about their efficacy and the pseudoscientific claims often associated with them. Today, companies like Zyto continue to develop biocommunication devices, though their products have faced scrutiny and regulatory challenges. I found these while cleaning out my uncle's house. He was a veteran, but we're not sure what they are. They look like keychain tags, but the text on the bottom one is confusing. Does anyone know what they were used for? The items you found are key finder tags, which were part of a program run by the Disabled American Veterans Organization. Introduced in 1941, these tags were part of a fundraising initiative aimed at helping disabled veterans and their families. Each tag resembled a miniature license plate and was distributed to motorists across the United States. The concept was simple. If someone found lost keys attached to the tag, they could drop them into a mailbox. The United States Postal Service would then forward the keys to the DAV, who would identify the owner using their records and return the keys. By purchasing these tags, individuals were essentially making a donation to support the DAV's efforts to assist disabled veterans and their families. This program not only provided a valuable service to the public, but also generated significant income for the organization. In its first year, the IdentoTag program generated $800,000 in income for the DAV. The program continued until 1975, when it was discontinued due to changes in privacy regulations. I found this on Pismo Beach, California, near the waterline. It looks like a loaf of bread on one side and felt squishy to the touch. It reacted when I touched it. Could this be some kind of sea slug? What you found is most likely a gumboot chiton, also known as the giant Pacific chiton. It is one of the largest types of chitons, growing up to 14 inches long and weighing more than 4 pounds. You can find this remarkable creature along the rocky shores of the northern Pacific Ocean, from central California to Alaska, as well as in the Aleutian Islands and parts of Japan. It lives in the lower intertidal and subtidal zones, clinging to rocks. What makes this chiton particularly fascinating is its appearance. Unlike most chitons, which have 8 visible armored plates, the gumboot's plates are entirely hidden beneath a leathery upper skin or girdle, which can be reddish-brown or sometimes even orange. As a slow-moving herbivore, it feeds on algae, sea lettuce, and kelp, scraping them off rocks with its radula, a specialized tongue-like organ covered with rows of magnetite-tipped teeth. It mainly feeds at night, often hiding during the day. The gumboot chiton has few natural predators, with the lurid rock snail and sea otters being some of the few that can consume it. Its tough, rubbery flesh, however, is not particularly palatable to most animals. It can live for over 40 years and is known for providing shelter to various commensal organisms, including scaleworms and small crabs, that reside in its gills without causing harm to it. What is this glass container with a metal lid and a unique design on top? It also has the marking trademark November 20th, 1917, April 8th, 1919. The Cleveland Metal Products Company, made in the USA. Does anyone know what it could have been used for? What you found is a vintage glass kerosene jug manufactured by the Cleveland Metal Products Company between November 20th, 1917 and April 8th, 1919. This jug was designed for use with kerosene stoves, which were widely used for cooking and heating in households and businesses before the widespread use of electricity and gas. The Cleveland Metal Products Company, established in 1888, played a key role in the development of kerosene-burning appliances during the early 20th century. In 1901, they partnered with Standard Oil to produce the Perfection line of kerosene stoves and heaters, which became a popular alternative to coal and wood stoves. These stoves offered a cleaner, more efficient cooking and heating solution, leading to increased demand for kerosene as a fuel source. I found this metal object with a face carved into it, wearing a hat that resembles the ones worn by Japanese officers during World War II. It weighs about a pound and appears to be made of iron. Does anyone know what this object might be? The object you found is likely a piece of trench art, specifically a type of decorative military item crafted by soldiers, prisoners of war, or civilians during the major conflicts of the 20th century. The design of the face, featuring a Japanese officer's hat and exaggerated facial features resembling Allied caricatures, suggests that this piece was made as a mockery of a Japanese soldier, possibly during World War II, when anti-Japanese sentiment was widespread. Such pieces were often created as a form of artistic expression or as souvenirs, reflecting the emotions, frustrations, and experiences of those directly involved in the conflict. These objects ranged from small personal items like rings or cigarette cases to larger sculptures, and were often crafted from discarded materials such as shell casings, bullets, or metal scraps. I found these glass items at a yard sale. They aren't doorknobs, and some even look like crystal. The items come from a house with a large collection of different glassware, as well as a salt and pepper collection. Does anyone know what these might be or what they were used for? The objects you found are likely knife rests, a type of kitchenware. Knife rests are functional decorative items, commonly used in formal dining settings to keep the dining area clean. The modern design of knife rests was invented in the late 17th or early 18th century, though earlier versions made of wood may have existed as far back as the time of Henry VIII. The main purpose of these items was to protect the tablecloth from stains. Over time, knife rests evolved, and by the Victorian era, they were made from a variety of materials, including gold, silver, mother-of-pearl, and ivory. Knife rests became especially popular in Europe, with notable contributions from the French, Russians, Germans, and other Europeans. Starting in the late 19th century, most knives were designed with heavier handles, which made knife rests less necessary. As a result, late Victorian etiquette manuals mentioned that concerns about staining the tablecloth became unnecessary. I see this truck with 5 massive spheres on the bed drive past my house every morning around 8 a.m. At first, I thought it might be construction equipment, but it seems odd for it to pass by every day. Does anyone know what these massive spheres are? The spheres you're seeing on the truck are likely Starlink ground station pods. These are part of the ground infrastructure for the Starlink satellite internet system developed by SpaceX. The ground stations, also known as points of presence, serve as terrestrial relay stations that connect the satellites in orbit to the internet infrastructure on the ground. They use large phased array antennas to communicate with multiple satellites simultaneously, enabling efficient data transfer and low latency. These stations are connected to high-speed fiber optic networks to ensure fast data processing and transfer. I found this pocket-sized metal box from 1924 with a plunger ejector mechanism. It measures approximately 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches by 0.7 inches and feels like it's made of steel, with a chrome-plated exterior that's engraved with 1924. The box is locked shut when the plunger is pushed in, and pulling it out opens the box, revealing 2 spring clips. There's also a recess in the middle with holes punched through it. Does anyone know what this could be or what it was used for? The object you've found is likely a Barron's Improved Combination cartridge case and pipe filler, a device designed to simplify the process of filling a pipe with tobacco. To use it, you would first pull out the plunger to open the filler, then place the desired amount of tobacco inside and close it. Once the filler is sealed, you would position the mouth of the device over the pipe bowl, press the plunger, and the tobacco would be pushed directly into the pipe. This design ensures a consistent fill, preventing waste and mess. During the early 20th century, there was a surge in innovative smoking accessories as people sought more practical and functional tools for their daily routines. I found this object with 2 handles connected by a rope and a small end that has a plastic sheath which retracts to reveal a sharp spike, similar to a sharpened Phillips head screwdriver. The plastic covering is spring-loaded, but the spike stays in place. The rope connecting the handles is about 6 feet long, and there are no model numbers or brand names on it. Does anyone know what this is and what it's used for? The object you found is most likely an ice safety pick, also known as ice claws. It's a tool primarily used in ice fishing for self-rescue if someone falls through the ice. The device consists of 2 handles connected by a cord, with a sharp spike at the end of each handle. If a person falls through the ice, they can save themselves without outside help using this tool. By driving the spikes into the ice, pulling themselves up with their arms, and kicking with their legs, they can climb out of the water and back onto the ice. This method provides the necessary grip to escape a dangerous situation. Ice safety picks are typically worn by threading the cord through the sleeves of a jacket, ensuring they are always within reach in case of an emergency. I just moved into a house and found this small device plugged into an outlet in the basement. The only words on the case are Sonic Technology, and it's about 2 inches by 2 inches in size. Does anyone know what this could be or what it's used for? The device you found is most likely an ultrasonic pest repeller, specifically designed to deter pests like rodents and insects from invading your home. Ultrasonic pest repellers have become popular due to their ease of use, silent operation for humans, and the fact that they eliminate the need for poisons or traps. They work by sending out ultrasonic waves that cause discomfort or confusion in the pests, potentially disrupting their ability to communicate, breed, or gather food. However, the effectiveness of these devices has been widely debated. Research on ultrasonic pest repellers has produced mixed results. A study conducted by Kansas State University in 2002 found that while some insects, such as crickets, were deterred by the ultrasonic waves, the devices had little effect on more persistent pests, like cockroaches. Other studies have shown that while some pests are initially disturbed by the noise, they can quickly become habituated to it, rendering the devices ineffective over time. Some manufacturers claim that these devices can eliminate even the most difficult pests, like cockroaches. But in real-world situations, the signal strength can rapidly diminish and may be blocked by walls or furniture, reducing their overall effectiveness. The Federal Trade Commission has also issued warnings to several manufacturers for making unsupported claims about their efficacy. In the last video, I asked you to guess what this red tool with holes might be used for. Many of you shared great guesses, and quite a few of you got it right. This item is a citrus juicer designed to extract juice from citrus fruits like lemons, limes, and oranges. Simply place a halved fruit inside and press the handles together to squeeze out the juice. The holes allow the juice to pass through while keeping the seeds and pulp inside. Thank you to everyone who participated and shared your guesses. A special shout out to Roadcone for being the first to correctly identify it. Alright, it's time for another mystery item. Take a look at this cast iron pot with a gray insert. It has a unique design, but what do you think it might have been used for? Leave your guesses in the comments and I'll reveal the answer in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Your support motivates me to create more videos. See you next time.